Going on YouTube, GloverBells here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're going to be talking about Farigiraf and Tsareena on the channel today. Now these are two Pokemon that, we've covered separately, in different videos on the channel before, but we're going to cover them again today, this time together. And the reason we're doing that is because they're more important now than ever given the circumstances of the current format, right? So basically, these two mons, they're on the rise and they have given good two results, and for good reason. Right? If you're using either of these two mons, all right, you're basically saying enough is enough, right? There's just too much Dragonite, there's too much Chien-Pao, too much Urshifu, too much priority in general. And now we're gonna take the fight back, all right, and take away their strongest asset as far as what makes them, relatively strong, the priority moves, right? And of course, you already know that Farigiraf and Tsareena, they have these two abilities called Armor Tail and Queenly Majesty, which again pretty much stop all kinds of priority in general. And technically there's a third Pokemon here that can do that, and that's Bruxish, right? It's also fall within this category, but I'm not quite sold on this one in particular, just because all right, I don't really like the stats that much. I mean, 105 attack is just barely okay. I don't know, I want more results with this one. I don't think this thing has any results actually, right? At least not from what I was looking at when I was trying to search Limitless. I searched for weeks of tours, and I don't think I found any of them within good top cut results. So I don't know about this one just yet. I know Aaron Zhang featured this recently, but I don't think this one can quite do the job as well as these two, right? Again, it has that same niche, but I think these are just two of the better options when you're considering denying priority moves, right? So until it gets the results, I'm not going to mention it too much, but again, if you are willing to explore it, you are more than welcome to. But I do like these two. Okay, so if I did miss it, feel free to tell me, but I didn't quite see any results with Bruxish as of this moment, right? But anyway, we're gonna look at some of the teams that have utilized Farigiraf and Tsareena to their fullest potential. We'll see how you're able to fit them on different kinds of teams in general, just copying their template. Right, so this way you don't have to think too hard to reinvent the wheel. Part of team building is just taking a winning formula and just tweaking it to your own playstyle. Not necessarily changing things and swapping out something for something that's suboptimal, but just taking the template, the winning formula, and just adjusting a couple things here and there, right? In terms of movesets or terra options, and that's pretty much the way to go about it. All right, so what we are going to do with these two is we'll give you some EV spreads, of course, and then we'll talk about some move sets that you can utilize, with these two, because I think there is a couple of sets that they can run depending on your own playstyle. But we'll also give a sample team at the end with Farigiraf in particular that you can use on the ladder yourself. So this way, you two can have some fun denying the priority stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay, so we'll start here with Farigiraf. So let's remove Tsareena off the screen for a moment. So basically with Farigiraf, I think there's three mainstay moves that I think most builds should start with, at least when you're first trying to use it on a team. So I think you definitely want Dazzling Gleam, and along with Terra Fairy, this can do quite a bit into Dragonite and Chien-Pao, especially if the Dragonite doesn't Terra. Good strong fairy type attack, and also the Chien-Pao will also take super effective damage, of course, because it is a fairy move. Then you also want Psychic here. It's your stab move. It's great into Urshifu, of course. The Rapid Strike one, of course, because it's a fighting type. So you can do well there. And then, of course, Trick Room. All right, so part of the other idea behind Farigiraf is it's also a Trick Room setter, right? So this is great into those Tailwind offense teams that want to go super fast with Tailwind and not only just rely on priority moves, just rely on fast hitting moves, right? But then you click the Trick Room button, and now all of a sudden they have to think a little bit harder, right? And then Tornadus can't even taunt this thing, right? Because of Armor Tail. And then this last move is up for grabs. I feel it just really depends on what you want to do. You can do Helping Hand here. You can also just put Protect here. Okay, it's also just really depends on your playstyle. I've even seen Ally Switch, right? If that's something that floats your build there. But I think those are the three mainstay moves that you can definitely utilize here. Oh, this one also has Side Shock. You can definitely use Side Shocks over Psychic. That's also an idea there. But overall, I feel that's pretty much it in terms of some variety there. So maybe there's some other options that other teams have used, but for the most part, that's pretty much it. So for our purposes, we'll just simply put protect here, right? There's no harm in going for protect. All right, I also like helping hand, but you know, protect is also relatively good. Then over here, you can definitely do stuff like Rocky Helmet and just be like, again, that, you know, bulky, that physically bulky Pokemon that can deal chip damage right back against these Dragonite, Chien-Pao, Urshifu teams, right? And in terms of like an EV spread, so basically we're gonna go modest here. All right, we're just gonna put 1 point in speed because that's really all the speed we need on Farigiraf, right? Just to, it also helps in rounding out your EV spread. So this way we invest in 5 stats, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're going to try and survive an Adamant, 156, Terra Water, Mystic Water, Urshifu, Surging Strengths, right? This is also why some of these teams also run like a fake out mon, like whether it's Iron Hands or Rillaboom for that matter. So this way you can stop the Chien-Pao or Dragonite from the double up. But at the very least, we can survive the Urshifu, Surging Strikes, and also the modest 116 Flutter Mane Moonblast. Okay, so let's look at what this spread can do. So I went to 223 first. Again, this is one of those important VGC benchmark numbers. You know, the other one being 207. And again, this is all about optimizing for the weather damage here from like Tyranitar sand chip damage, for example. Although Tyranitar is just not that relevant at the moment, but at the very least, I still want, you know, my Farigiraf to have like a decent amount of HP because like if you look at these bulk stats, it's not all that great, but at the same time, you know, okay, it's a ton of HP. I might as well utilize it, right? Then what I want to do is just figure out how much defense do I need to survive this damage calc, right? So let me go here and let me go to the Urshifu. We already have one imported. So we're going to go to the damage calculator. All right, here's our Adamant Mystic Water set, Adamant 156. And let's go to Farigiraf here. Let's do a blank set first. So let's go level 50 here. Of course, let's go modest. And then let's go, what was the investment we put? 220, right? So 220 here. Okay. And then what we want to do is go Terra Water on our Urshifu. And then, again, we're clicking Surging Strikes. So it does a lot of damage. Oh, let's take off Sword of Ruin here. It can pick up a KO for sure, but now let's see how much defense we need to be able to survive this, right? So this is how you do these damage calcs in general. You just do this until you get the calc that you need, and we already have it there. So it's about 100 investment, so that's good. All right, right here, this is pretty good. And this is also a good benchmark number, 103. I like that a lot. And then from here, honestly, what you can do now is just start investing in like your special attack stat. So you can go 156, right? So this will hit the second EV bump here in the modest nature. And again, if you don't know what EV bumps are, feel free to comment in the video below and ask what are EV bumps, because if you're trying to play competitive Pokemon, you know, you got to know what EV bumps are. Or I also like to call them EV benchmarks, EV jumps. Either way, you know, you got to know what these are. All right. And then from here, these are just leftover spreads. Just dump them into special defense, right? And they also help you survive that Flutter Mane Moonblast, right? So if I were to go to Flutter Mane over here, the modest 116 set, of course, is what we're looking at here. Terra Fairy is what I was also going for. So if we do this, all right, I think we are able to survive this. Yeah, see, look at this. This is all we need, right? So just about 20 investment, and we already have 28. So, you know, we already have what we need. So that's already good. You know, those last 8 EVs, you can definitely put them anywhere you want. You can make them more bulky, but really it's just 8 EVs, right? So this is it. This is our Farigiraf spread. So if you needed a spread for Farigiraf, here it is. Go ahead and take this one. You're able to survive, you know, 2 of the most common attacks in the game, right? At least right now in Regulation D. Now, you know, you're not going to survive the double up from Dragonite Chien-Pao, you know, if it has Aerial Ace. If the Dragonite has Aerial Ace, you're not going to live the double up. So just be aware of that. But you can always fake out the Chien-Pao, which is important, right? And then from there, set up Trick Room if that's what you need to do. But yeah, that's what I would do against, you know, something like that. But here's a working EV spread, okay? And so honestly, now what we're going to do is just take a look at some teams that have utilized Farigiraf, see what their movesets are, and see how you also can use Farigiraf. Okay, let's start here. So this is the Road to Yokohama tour. So this is their number 2 tour from the VGC Trainer School. And again, the winning tournament team here was from Jan with that, you know, Tornadus Regidrago with Farigiraf. This is the Eric Rios team, if I'm not mistaken. You know, if you don't know, Eric Rios is one of the best players in the world. And this is the team that he utilized to perfection. And it's got Rocky Helmet Farigiraf, Okay, like we said, and here's Terra-type Fairy, makes a lot of sense. Trick Room, Dazzling Gleam, and Psychic. There's your 3 mainstay moves. Here's the Imprison move. Oh yeah, that's the other move I wanted to say. Yeah, I remember there was like a 4th one, but I just couldn't quite remember it. So yeah, here's Imprison. That's also really good at denying the Trick Room. All right, so you can definitely use this. And then if you just look at this team's makeup, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because Regidrago wants to hit as hard as possible with Dragon Energy, right? And the only way to stop that, or at least one of the main ways to stop that, is to click a priority move against it. So this way you chip that HP, so this way Dragon Energy doesn't do anything. But with a timely switch in with Farigiraf, now all of a sudden that priority move is kaput, right? And now you get to hit really, really hard with that Dragon Fang, Dragon Energy, right? So Farigiraf definitely likes Tornadus Regidrago team. So if you want to use a Farigiraf team, use this, okay? This is really good, you know, Regidrago along with Farigiraf. And I couldn't have asked, I guess Regidrago couldn't have asked for a better partner in Farigiraf. Now, technically, what you can also do is if you want to swap out the Rillaboom and put in Tsareena, you can do that too, but then remove the Farigiraf and just add something like Fluttermane, for example, right? So this way you get a Dragon Fairy Steel combination. So you see what I mean? You stick to like the winning template and just make some adjustments here and there. But, you know, that is changing 2 mons, right? And then you do lose a fake out mon. So in all essence, I would still use this 6, right? I wouldn't change this. Eric Rios is fantastic. So I would just use this kind of version, right? But there's another version that we're going to show you as far as like a team building session at the end of the video. All right, but this is a good Regidrago team with Farigiraf. And then over here with Moltres, right? So 5-3 record here from Livio. Good result there. Let's see. Yeah, see, this is a Tailwind Moltres, and this one is Trick Room Imprison, also with Hyper Voice and Dazzling Gleam. So that's also another good set. Rocky Helmet again with Terra Water. So I would imagine this EV spread is a little bit different because now you don't have to worry about, you know, the Urshifu Surging Strike stuff. So maybe a little bit less bulky, but I would still imagine just having, you know, still good bulk because of the Rocky Helmet set here, right? So then again, here's Rillaboom, here's Fluttermane, right? Here's Rapid Strike, Urshifu, here's U-Chan. So Fire, Water, Grass Core with the Moltres, you know, a good winning formula. Then you slap on a Fluttermane over here. And typically you might see something like, I don't know, maybe Cresselia over here with Trick Room. But now you can just add the Farigiraf, which can, you know, really help a lot here in terms of, you know, just denying priority moves in general, right? And again, that fake out option is very important in trying to get up that Trick Room here. And Leftovers Heatran is, you know, in that speed tier where like it can work in Trick Room, it can work in Tailwind because of that mid-tier speed. So it works a lot. Heatran does well on Tail Room teams, I would say, right? So that's another kind of team you can utilize with Farigiraf here. All right, I think there was another one down here. Yeah, this one, also another 4-2 results. So this one has Chien-Pao here with, you know, Urshifu, of course, and then here's the Rillaboom again with the Fluttermane and Heatran. So another, you know, again, still that same template that you can utilize here. By the way, if you're going to use Rillaboom, you know, on the same team as Chien-Pao, you have to use Icicle Crash as opposed to Ice Spinner because then you just blow up your own terrain, right? Food for thought, in case you didn't know that. But again, another way to really utilize this, and again, this is safety goggles, so this way Mungus doesn't get annoying. Trick Room Psychic Sunny Day is a tech move here, and then Hyper Voice. Sunny Day makes sense, helps Heatran do a lot of damage with Heat Wave, enables the Fluttermane, of course. You know, I can see it. I can definitely see it. So some good Farigiraf teams here. All right, then if we go over here into the Beanie Brawl, which is the tour that our friend Neil won. There's a couple of Farigiraf teams here. Here's the one from Nick Borgi. And again, Fluttermane, Heatran, Rillaboom, Urshifu. And then here's the one difference maker, the Landorus, right? Again, the same template, just making one switch there, right? And now you get an Intimidate Pokemon on your team, right? So Stomping Tantrum, Terra Blast, U-Turn. Again, a very standard Landorus set. But, you know, makes a lot of sense. This is Citrus Berry Farigiraf. All right, so you get a recovery option as opposed to the goggles or the Rocky Helmet. Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, Trick Room, Ally Switch. So there's that other tech move that we mentioned. But again, still that same kind of idea that you want to use with Farigiraf. This balanced core, right? So it's basically Fluttermane, Fire, Water, Grass core, Farigiraf +1. That's the template, okay? At least from what we're looking at so far. All right, let's, was there another one down here? I think there was. Yeah, here's another one from Jinhao Jiang. So this one's a little interesting. This one is Murkrow Sunny Day team with Fluttermane Chiyu. Something that, you know, we've seen before in Regulation C, but then all of a sudden here's a Scarf Regieleki. Ooh, this is cool. All right, Electro Ball makes a lot of sense on Scarf Regieleki, and then here's that Urshifu idea. So this team's a little different, but, you know, again, Rocky Helmet, Terra Water, Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, Trick Room, Helping Hand. Okay, there you go. There's that other tech move, but again, more variety here in the Farigiraf, but again, same idea. You know, can function well on this Tailwind teams, you know, to deny like Fluttermane Chiyu stuff because they're, you know, they're kind of frail. So, in that essence, a timely Farigiraf switch-in could be quite useful here. So, that's another way to utilize this. I think there's like another one over here if we want to take a look here. Yeah, from MatPod. So, this one, again, Fluttermane, Heatran, Urshifu, no Rillaboom here. Instead, we are getting Tornadus and Gyarados over here. So similar to Landorus here, we're getting an Intimidate Pokemon with flying ability, of course. A little bit speed control here with Thunder Wave and Taunt. Gyarados is a good Pokemon in this format. I think it's a little bit underrated. More people I think they're picking up on it. It's quite good. But again, you know, Farigiraf can do well here. And again, just like a couple of moves here. You know, Berry, Farigiraf, Imprison Trick Room, D-Gleam, and Helping Hand. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. All right, so you kind of get the idea of how you're able to utilize this. And here's another one, 10-1, a winning team from Bowling. Another one with Regieleki over here. So, you know, let's look at this one. Let's let this be the last one. This is from the Mouse Tour. They host a lot of tours. Definitely join their tournaments if you haven't done so already. But Rillaboom Sneasler is a combination that does well already that we know. Here's your Intimidator with Arcanine. Here's Urshifu, Rapid Strike. Lecky again, okay? And then Farigiraf with the Rocky Helmet. Terra Flying is another one. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know about that one, but Trick Room, Psychic, Terra Blast. Oh, okay. All right. So that one is for like, I guess Urshifu here, but then you already have Psychic. Why do you need this? Is this for like Amoonguss? I don't know why. Very interesting, but I'm not going to argue a 10-1 record that won the tour, right? So another unique way of utilizing this Farigiraf set. But again, good variants, but lots of results all around for this Pokemon here. So you can definitely utilize it. I think it works. And this one over here, which I got to give a shout out to Mr. Ploppy over here, right? He just got featured on Aaron Zhang's channel with the Clodsire. Okay, and he also has a Farigiraf here, right? And I already know what this spread does, right? This is 92. This is that 207 benchmark number. The first jump with 76 special attack, right? A little bit of speed here. He has a little bit of a split between the defense and 180 speed up. I don't quite know what this 180 speed up is for particularly. Maybe he can enlighten me. I'm not sure. But, you know, another cool way of utilizing that. I like Dragapult, Chien-Pao, Farigiraf. I think it makes a lot of sense. This is actually the team that we're going to look at the later part of this video. But I like this. You know, these three I think are quite good together, right? So now let's take a look at Tsareena and see how you can utilize that Pokemon if that is your more preferred option. All right, so now let's look at Tsareena here. So basically, in terms of moveset here, so the starting one is your grass type move. Either you go Power Whip or you go Trope Kick, right? And pros and cons to both. So with Trope Kick, again, it's like an active form of Intimidate. Less damage than Power Whip, of course, but of course, you know, it's 100% accurate, and you get a chance to reduce attack by 1 stage, so that's pretty good. Power Whip, the benefit of Power Whip over Trope Kick is if you're going like this Adamant set, you know, Trope Kick does not pick up those bulky Adamant Urshifu waters, and that's a problem if Trope Kick can't do that, right? So this is why, for me, I always like picking up those KOs, so Power Whip is important. And for that reason, we're going to go with it here. So we're going to go with like this Adamant 76 set, which can pick up those, you know, standard Adamant Urshifus with just like a little bit of investment in their HP and defensive stats, right? They're mainly EV to survive, you know, another Dragonite E-Speed from Chien-Pao boosted. But of course, we're just going to max out this HP over here, you know, 252 here. And then other than that, I do like low sweep here. So I do like the speed control. And, you know, fighting move is also relatively nice against, you know, some of these dark type options, the bulky steel types. I think it helps a lot. Then over here, I do like U-turn as that pivot move. Another good strong bug move, of course. Nice into the, you know, Terra Grass Heatrans, namely. And then you could just do like Protect here. You could do Helping Hand. That's also relatively nice. I think this also gets Play Rough, right? Yeah, it does get Play Rough. So you can also opt for that. Does have low kick. So you can definitely do that, right? over something like low sweep. But all in all, you know, it really just depends on how you want to use the Tsareena. But, you know, it's like Power Whip plus 2 coverage moves and then like maybe 1 support move, or like maybe just literally protect, right? And then in terms of like, you know, an item here, you can definitely do like Citrus Berry. You can definitely do like a bulky Rocky Helmet set. You can definitely do, you know, just even like an Assault Vest set. Assault Vest was very popular, you know, with Tsareena in the Sword and Shield days for sure. You can definitely do that and then just run like another 4th move here. So that's also an option. But for me, I'm just going to go with the Rocky Helmet thing. And, you know, from here, it's just a matter of like outspeeding stuff like, you know, under Tailwind, right? If you had Tailwind on your team, you could just simply go to like 104 or like 105 and then just split up this 80 EVs amongst your defense, right? So you can definitely just do something like this, where you just split it up like this, right? And if anything, if you want to round it out a little bit, you can definitely just do like this to 106, right? And also, actually, how about outspeeding Dragapult, if anything, right? So let's go to 107. Let's outspeed Dragapult. I think that's important. Maybe just do this, right? Let's put this to 28, and now, all right, now we can do it, right? So, with this set, now you can pick up the Urshifu, right? So if I were to go here, let's go to like a blank Tsareena. Let's do level 50. Let's do Adamant 76, and I think we're able to do it, which is the main reason why I wanted Power Whip. So, Urshifu, the bulky, a very standard bulky set, the one that we showed, the standard one. Here we go. Yeah, where is Power Whip? Okay, so let's do Power Whip here. Power Whip, I believe this can pick it up, and yep, it does. And actually, you know, 102 from a starting point is good, right? Because sometimes these Urshifus are actually at 60 rather than like 44 than the one we showed. So Power Whip can do that, and then from there, you know, we got the damage calc we want. So now we just invested into the bulk and then the speed stat, of course. You know, with that Tailwind support, that's what we want. But also, even if you don't have Tailwind, you know, this is still a good speed tier for Tsareena to have. Just in general, but this is the set that I like when I've tried Tsareena. So now let's take a look at some teams here that have utilized it. So starting over here with the Fortress, Battle Fortress VGC Tour number 3, Tiggle Wiggle. All right, so here we go. Here's the Tailwind from Pelipper, and there's also, I believe, a Trick Room team here. Yeah, so here's Hatterene Iron Hands, right? And then here's that Rocky Helmet Tsareena. Oh, the Terra type. Yeah, okay, Terra Fire works too. Yeah, I forgot about the Terra type. So here's Trope Kick, here's Low Kick, and U-Turn Protect. So opting for the Trope Kick as opposed to the Power Whip. Here's Low Kick instead of Low Sweep. And then here is, yeah, you know what? I think Low Kick is a little bit better, right? Just, you know, I think we'll go with that, you know. And then from there, yeah, so you can kind of see the idea here. So Basculeo Legion, Pelipper, you know, Tailwind support. You know, Swift Swim, the only way to really outspeed the Basculeo Legion is to hit it with a priority move. So incoming Tsareena. So now you can deny that. You can deny the Sucker Punch from Chien-Pao, and now Basculeo Legion can do the job that it needs to do, right? So another good idea here. And then, of course, Iron Hands, Hatterene can do relatively well as offering a Trick Room mode to the squad, along with Goldango over here. You know, Fake Out plus Nasty Plot. Fake Out Tailwind is also relatively nice, but cool use of Tsareena here. So shout outs to Tiggle Wiggle for another creative idea here with Tsareena. And then if we go into the Nino Tour, this is the 71st Tour. So there was a few Farigiraf teams here. I'm sorry, Tsareena teams here. So let's look at this one from Jin-Hao, who we also just looked at previously with you know, Farigiraf. So I guess he's trying, you know, a lot of these anti-priority Pokemon. So here's Murkrow. Oh, it's basically the same kind of team, just like he put Tsareena here, right? So this is what he was doing previously with Murkrow, Fluttermane, Chiyu, and here's the Alecki again. But here's the Tsareena. This one is Wide Lens. So he's going Power Whip, High Jump Kick, all moves that can miss. That's why he has the Wide Lens over here, and then Helping Hand Protect. Makes a lot of sense. Terra Water, also pretty good, you know, to be able to resist the Ice Spinner from the Chien-Pao. Makes a lot of sense. I like it. Then over here, if you scroll down a little bit into that same tour, you know, again, Gustavo over here, 5-3, you know, decent result here. But here's that idea with Dragonite, Chien-Pao plus Farigiraf. But now you can just add the Tsareena here, and here's the Tornadus. So this way you don't have to like force the Terra option with Terra Ghost. So this way, if they want to go for Fake Out, you can swap in the Tsareena and then just go for like, you know, the Tailwind stuff. And you can see that they're Terra Dark here. So this way it doesn't get taunted by an opposing Tornadus. So makes a lot of sense in this regard. And then, of course, it's just relatively standard with Flood Mane here. Here's the landers, by the way, with, you know, Rain Dance. Makes a lot of sense. So I like this team as well. So cool idea. But again, you can kind of see what some of these teams are doing. You know, again, all three of these teams have a tailwind of some sort. And Tsareena can do well here because, again, a lot of the times, you know, if you want to beat these tailwind teams, you gotta click priority moves, right? Because you have no way to outspeed them if, you know, they're faster than your tailwind options. And this is where Tsareena and Farigiraf can really help you get off your attacks without having, you know, not too much punishment here. But in terms of this set from Gustavo, Rocky Helmet, Terra Water, Choke Kick, Low Kick, Helping, and Protect. So again, another very similar set here. So, you know, there's some results from Tsareena, and I expect it to be used a little bit more, you know, again, leading into Worlds. I don't know how huge of an impact Tsareena can have, but, you know, at the very least, it's being used, right? Which is good. You know, Tsareena's a cool Pokemon. I like Tsareena. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to showcase, you know, just a quick team building session where we're going to quickly build a Farigiraf team so this way you too can utilize it. Okay, so let's build a quick Farigiraf team that you can use and use it on the ladder, of course. So what I'm going to do is take a formula that has been used already, and we're going to use KayDeeVGC's Farigiraf team. So basically, if you don't know Kaydee, you know, check out his channel. He's another PokeTuber, but he had pretty much the same kind of team that I would use if I wanted to try Farigiraf in, like, you know, a more fun way. Instead, and again, I've been mentioning this throughout the video, I do like this combination of Dragonite, Chien-Pao. I think they're both very, very good right now. And again, you already know how Justin Tang used this back in Regulation C. And now they're starting to rise again, this pair. And, you know, Dragonite, Chien-Pao does really well with, like, some denier of priority moves, right? Because how do you beat the Dragonite, right? You want to Sucker Punch it, of course. But then you bring in Farigiraf, and now all of a sudden you can't do that, right? So I like this a lot. And we're going to put it in Prison here rather than Protect. So this way we can deny the said Trick Room against us, because we're going to be a relatively fast team. But I also like Rillaboom on a team like this. A fake out option is quite important as far as like trying to maybe set up a Trick Room or maybe just in general stalling out some of those Trick Room Tailwind turns. I think Rillaboom is a great mon at the moment. It's definitely going to be Assault Vest. And then from here, I do like Flutter Mane, of course, and I do like Heatran, right? And this is KD6, and I like it a lot, right? And I don't know his EV spreads, of course, and I think he had Hyper Voice instead of Dazzling Gleam here, but that's okay. I'm sure he has his reasons. And he was Terra Water on his Farigiraf, so this way he doesn't worry have to, you know, invest so much heavily into this defensive part. But, you know, we can technically do that too. I think it makes a lot of sense, but I also do think, you know, Fairy is also very much a viable option. But, you know, if you like Terra Water, we'll keep it as Terra Water. If you don't want to Terra the Farigiraf here in front of the Urshifu, and then at the same time, you're able to resist the Chien-Pao Ice Spinner. So this way, you definitely have a good chance of surviving that double up there. So I do like this. I'll keep the same spreads there, but we'll just go Terra Water here. Dragapult here, you know, Choice Band set, of course. You know, I do like Dragon Darts. You know, I won't go too crazy here. Dragon Darts, Phantom Force, you know, U-Turn, and then Terra Blast, right? Now, you can definitely do Terra Blast, Terra Steel to be able to snipe the Flutter Manes. You know, that can help a lot. Or you can do the Rising set and just go Terra Ghost, Terra Blast, right? So just in case you don't want to have to use Phantom Force here, right? So I like that a lot. Chien-Pao, and then you don't get locked, right, into, you know, Phantom Force doing that stuff. So Focus Sash here, you know, with the Chien-Pao. Because you have Rillaboom on your team, like I said, that rule that you have to follow, you have to use Icicle Crash. It can miss, just don't miss. All right, Sacred Sword and Sucker Punch for sure, and then Protect. Then the Rillaboom, Fake Out, Wood Hammer, U-Turn. So now you have two U-Turners, so good pivot action going on here. And then I do like Knockoff. Knockoff is pretty good. Definitely Stomping Tantrum is also a good move as well. And then, you know, Assault Vest here. But in terms of this fourth move, it's really up to you. If you like Knockoff, go for it. If you like Stomping Tantrum, also go for it, right? It's up to you. The Flutter Mane here, Booster Energy, for sure. Now, normally you could even do like Substitute on, you know, Flutter Mane and Heatran, but now you don't need to because you have Farigiraf. So that frees up a slot. So you're still going to go Moonblast. You're still going to go Shadow Ball. Now you might as well just go Dazzling Gleam and get that spread move going, and then now you can click Protect, right? So, and again, with the Flutter Mane here, you can definitely go Terra Fairy for a little bit more offense. Or you can also go Terra Water, Flutter Mane, you know, again, resisting that, you know, Urshifu Surging Strikes damage. I think it makes a lot of sense. Definitely up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to keep it Terra Water for now. Heatran, Flash Fire for sure. You know, Terra Grass is really good. Also, Terra Bug that we also use on our Dragonite Chien-Pao team. That's also very, very good into the mirror. But in this case, you can definitely do like a Life Orb set here, and you can definitely do like Heat Wave. You can do Flash Cannon. You can do Earth Power, and then you can also do Protect here, right? Very, very standard set. I like aggressive E-Trans in this sense. You don't need to put sub, right? Because again, we have the Farigiraf. So let's be aggressive here. We don't need leftovers on this kind of team. Let's be aggressive with the Heatran and the Fluttermane, because these are your two main special attack damage dealers, because Farigiraf, you know, doesn't do a whole lot of damage. I know 110 special attack is not too bad, but you know, we're not fully invested, and 165 is not super great, but it's still like some damage. So, you know, most of the offense from the special side is going to be coming from these guys, and Dragon Bolt, Chien-Pao, and Rillaboom will carry the physical damage side, right? So now, now that we have the EVs over here on the Farigiraf, let's go ahead and do the rest of these EVs for the rest of this team. So with Dragapult here, basically you have a couple of options in terms of your EV spread. So I've seen some people go right here to about 207. This will outspeed Iron Bundle, of course. And then from there, you're just able to max out your attack and then just put, you know, 1 point in the bulk stats, and then just, you know, just dump the rest into HP. You can definitely do this, but because you know, there's a little bit more Dragapults now than before, I feel like you don't want to lose the mirror or, you know, have to go into the speed tie. So in all essence, what you should just do is just go like max speed. All right, and then from there, just put like this last point in special defense, right? And again, max speed Dragapult is still very, very strong, right? Now with Chien-Pao here, now definitely you can still do like Jolly 252, 252, but what's also a little bit cool is to just simply go Adamant, right? Because now, you know, you have a Sash anyway, right? So you might as well just go like Adamant, Chien-Pao, and even though you're slower, okay, because a lot of these teams are calcing their mons to survive, you know, Jolly, Chien-Pao, you know, Ice Spinner plus, you know, Dragonite E-Speed for shenanigans. So now, because you're running Adamant, for example, some of those calcs are now thrown off because now you're doing a little bit more damage than the Jolly Chien-Pao stuff. So I definitely think Adamant is the way to go here. And then for the Rillaboom, you know, I like to optimize the HP for the grassy terrain. So I just go to 192, right? Because if you know about grassy terrain, it's 1/16 of your health for recovery. So this will get it to a perfect 12 every turn. Whereas if you did something like this is now 11.9375, which rounds down to 11 grassy terrain recovery. So let's optimize that and go to 192. Then we'll go to 196 for the third jump in the attack stat. And then a little bit of defense there. That'll survive Dragonite E-Speed boosted by, you know, Sword of Ruin from Chien-Pao. And then the rest, you know, we just want like a even number in the special defense because of the Assault Vest. Then you just dump the rest into speed. 114 is a pretty decent speed tier for the Rillaboom. You'll outspeed some of the other Dragonites as well. Not all of them, but some of them, which is all you can really ask for with your Rillaboom. The Fluttermane here, so what I want to do is still go modest, but again, because I suspect some Chien-Paos are going Adamant, I want to adjust the spread a little bit to be able to survive the Adamant Icicle Crash, or I'm sorry, Ice Spinner Chien-Pao, right? And that spread looks like this. We're still going to go 196 speed. Okay, I feel like the 180 mark is always good against the genies that are max speed. Then from here, we're going to be a little bit weaker in the special attack department. Okay, a little bit weaker, right? But in essence, we're still going to get this calc that we want here. So we're going to go 156 in the HP and then 116. Right, and then the last point will go in special defense. Right, now, that being said, you are going to get a speed boost now, right? As opposed to a special attack boost. Now, if that's okay with you, great. If that's not okay, obviously, you know, drop the speed a little bit and you know, put a little bit more in your special attack. But at the very least, you know, this is the bulk that you need to be able to survive that Ice Spinner. Or if you don't care for that, if you rather just still calc for the Jolly set, then you can just do this, you know, 100 and then 76 investment. This will still survive the Ice Spinner that way. And then put a little bit more here and still go this route. All right, and then, you know, now you can speed creep a little bit, and then you can just put this at 108. This will still do that job if you care for that. But if you like to calc for the Adamant set, then you go back to the first set that I showed you there, right? The Heatran over here, I still like to go Modest Nature here. I think you can just go like to 189 just to optimize the Life Orb chip damage. Then you go to the second benchmark here in the special attack, 1 point in the bulk stat, and then you just put the rest in speed like this. 118 is a pretty good speed tier number. That'll outspeed pretty much all the Rillabooms and most of the Dragonites. So this way you can get some of these hard-hitting attacks off, right? And that's what the 6 looks like. So this is not only the 6 that KD had on his channel. I think this is Michael's team as well, you know, the German player. He used this in the Nino Tour, so shout outs to both of them for this 6, I guess. And we're going to stick with that formula, right? And this is our take on it. So, you know, go ahead, use this. You know, at least we gave... oh, wait, I forgot about the Rillaboom. I forgot about the Rillaboom set here. So let's go back here. Let's go... I think you can just simply go like Terra Water here or Terra Fire. Either one is pretty good. This one, you can definitely do Terra Ghost. All right, Dragapult. We already decided Terra Ghost. Water here is also pretty good. The Fluttermane, again, we also decided, right? All right, now we've got the set. All right, so now here's the Pokebase. And again, your Fluttermane spread really just depends on what you want to calc for. Do you want to calc for Adamant Chien-Pao, or do you want to calc for the Jolly Chien-Pao? Either way, you know, start with this. If you want to use Farigiraf, go ahead. You know, use the 6. It's a proven 6. So, you know, depending on however you want to use it, definitely give it a go. All right, let me know what you think of Farigiraf and or Tsareena. And if you've used it already, what kind of teams have you used it on? Leave a comment in the video description, in the comment section below, of course. And if you're interested in coaching for a team building session, just like how we built this team like this from scratch with our EV spreads, if you're interested in that, definitely sign up on the channel with the tier 3 sub. With that, you're able to message me on Discord, and then we can organize a team building session where we just, you know, get you that team that you need to be able to jump on the ladder, or, you know, prepare for a tournament, or maybe an incoming local that you got, or some premier challenge. All right, or if you're going to Worlds, you know, definitely we can, you know, get you something for that as well. We'll be a little bit more strict, of course, because it is for the World Championships coming up, right? But for whatever need you have, we'll help you out, of course. And again, that is the tier 3 sub to the channel. So check it out. Video description below. Pinned comment also has the same link for the coaching site. And again, also every single video has a join now button, which will take you to the tier sub page. All right, that's it for now, folks. We'll be back with another video in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.